You are both planning the family holiday. So you start researching destinations, comparing costs, and looking at dates that work. You are halfway through when she steps in with a smile. Here, let me. I know this kind of thing stresses and confuses you. Her tone is soft, caring even, but something lands wrong. You weren't stressed or confused, you were handling it. And now you're standing here watching her take over, wondering if maybe you were not doing it right after all. This happens again when you're organizing the kids' schedules. She jumps in with, "Let me handle this. You always miss something." Again, when you're planning a family gathering. "Here, I'll take care of that." You know how you get overwhelmed. Every time it's framed as help, every time the real message is, "You are not capable. I need to be in control." This is what Barb support in an abusive relationship sounds like. It appears as care, concern, or helpfulness. But underneath, it's a delivery system for criticism, control, and shame. The words sound supportive, the actions look generous, but the effect is always the same. You are pushed aside, you are made to feel incompetent, and she gets complete control of the outcome. In today's episode of the Blueprint of Family Violence Against Men, we're going to deep dive into barbed support. It's one of the tactics abusers use to undermine your competence and to maintain control. It's rarely used on its own, but today we're going to isolate it so that you can see it clearly. You can recognize how it operates in real time, and so you can understand what you can do when support becomes a weapon. For those of you who are new here, this is Stand Again, a lived experience platform for male victims of family violence. Abuse is not limited to one gender, but this channel focuses on the male perspective because it is so often dismissed or misunderstood. If this content helps you, please like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts in the chat. Your words might just help a victim of family violence find theirs. Farm support is when care is offered in a way that wounds. On the surface, it looks like concern, encouragement, or helpfulness. But underneath, it's a delivery system for criticism, control, or shame. The words may sound supportive, the tone may be soft, but the message is sharp. You are not capable. You cannot be trusted. You need rescuing. The mechanics are simple. She offers help you did not ask for, takes over tasks you're managing fine, or provides support laced with judgment about your inadequacy. The help might be real. She might actually complete the task or solve the problem. But the way it's delivered always communicates the same thing. You were not handling it properly, and she had to step in because you can't be relied upon. This is distinct from genuine clumsiness or awkward communication. Barb support is a pattern. It happens repeatedly. It targets your competence in areas where you're actually capable. And it always leaves you feeling smaller, less competent, like you're failing at things you know how to handle. She does this because the primary motivation is covert control. Barb support allows her to exercise power while appearing caring and reasonable. She gets to take control of outcomes, decisions, tasks, situations, while maintaining the image of the supportive partner who's just trying to help. This is covert abuse, control enacted in ways that are invisible to outsiders and sometimes even to you. The tactic also gives her complete deniability. If you push back against the help, you look ungrateful, defensive, or too proud to accept care. If you accept it, you internalize the message that you are inadequate. She wins either way. The support is not about helping you, it's about maintaining control while looking like the good partner. The psychological impact is the erosion of your confidence and self trust in your own capabilities. When someone repeatedly offers help that implies you can't manage it, you start to doubt your own capabilities, not just in the relationship, but everywhere. This is psychological abuse through systematic undermining. Each instance of barbed support chips away at your confidence until you genuinely start to believe you need her oversight, her judgment, her intervention. This creates dependency in infantilization. When competent adults are treated like children who can't handle basic tasks or decisions, it damages self esteem and autonomy. The abuser positions herself as superior, the capable one managing the incompetent one. This is not an accidental outcome, it is the designed result. By infantilizing you, she maintains a position of power and control. Finally, this tactic serves narrative control. When she positions herself as the helpful, caring partner who's always stepping into supporting you, it becomes very difficult for you to speak about what is actually happening. If you try to tell someone she undermines me by helping, it sounds absurd. You sound ungrateful. And if you ever do leave or speak about the abuse, she has a ready made story. I did everything for him. He couldn't handle anything without me. And this is how he repays me. For male victims, Barb support exploits how men approach collaboration in relationships. Men are collaborative creatures. When you're in a team environment, like an intimate partnership, your default response to an offer of help is to accept it. This is cooperative behavior. If a stranger offers to help you work on your car, your instinct is to decline. That's not a team activity. But when your partner offers to help plan a family holiday, organize the kids' schedules, or handle a shared responsibility, your knee jerk reaction is to say yes, because those are team activities. Collaboration makes sense. The abuser knows this. She offers help on tasks that should be team efforts, which makes rejecting the help look uncooperative or difficult. And then she loads that help with barbs. You hear them, you register the insult, but in the moment, you're making a calculation. Is it worth addressing this barb right now, or do I let it go to keep the collaboration moving forward? If pushing back means derailing the outcome you both need, such as a good holiday, or the kids' needs are met, or a problem is solved, you let it go through to the keeper. You're focused on the team outcome, not your wounded pride. This is not weakness, it's rational relationship behavior. Men display what researchers call in phase emotional coordination with their romantic partners. You tend to match your partner's emotional state and go along with their wants and moods to avoid arguments and reach a quick resolution. You're prioritizing the collective benefit over the personal cost. That is cooperation. That's what you've been taught makes relationships work. But within an abusive environment, this gets weaponized. She knows you'll accept the help because rejecting it looks uncooperative. She knows you'll ignore the barb because addressing it might derail the task. And she knows that over time, you'll normalize accepting disrespect as the price of collaboration. Every time you let a barb slide to maintain team harmony, you're reinforcing her behavior. You're teaching both of you that this is acceptable. Eventually, you stop noticing when you're being insulted. You stop weighing whether it's worth pushing back. You just absorb it and keep moving. Not because you're weak or oblivious, but because you've been conditioned through cooperative behavior to prioritize outcomes over dignity. And the abuser has turned your teamwork instinct into a tool for control. Let's take a look at 5 very distinct ways barb support shows up within an abusive relationship. Each type operate slightly differently, but they all share the same goal, which is to control you while appearing caring. The first is hope that hurts. Hope that hurts is when support is offered in a way that subtly undermines you. It's unsolicited assistance that implies you can't cope, you are not capable, or you need to be rescued. She steps in to take over tasks that you're already handling perfectly fine. Not because you asked for help, not because you're struggling, but because she's decided you need rescuing. The help comes with a sigh, a sideward glance, or a subtle emphasis on your inadequacy. The deeper message is always the same: I don't trust you to do this on your own. What makes this distinct is the takeover. She doesn't just criticize or offer advice, she physically removes you from the task and completes it herself. You've been replaced. The task gets done, but your competence is erased in the process. She positions herself as the capable one who had to step in and rescue you from your own incompetence. You might hear something like, Here, let me. I know this kind of thing stresses you out, when you were not stressed at all. Or she might say, You always forget something. Let me handle it. When you haven't forgotten anything. Or even, I'll do the thinking. You do the heavy lifting, which frames you as the muscle without the brains. Or my personal favorite, honestly, I worry you'll fall apart without me, which positions her as essential for your survival. Declining the offer makes you look defensive or ungrateful, and accepting it means you internalize the message that you are inadequate. The abuse becomes a trap. Accept humiliation to appear cooperative, or push back and be framed as too proud to accept help. And you begin to second guess your own competence. And that doubt extends beyond the relationship into every area of your life. This works particularly well in public settings. When she takes over in front of friends, family, or the kids, objecting makes you look petty or ungrateful. Who complains about receiving help? The audience sees her being supportive and you looking uncomfortable about it, which reinforces her narrative that you are difficult or defensive. You learn to accept the humiliation silently because making an issue of it only makes you look worse. The public nature of the takeover is not accidental, it's strategic. The next is pity framed as empathy. Pity framed as empathy is when concern is expressed to reduce you rather than connect with you. It sounds like care. You'll hear things like, I worry about you. You're not yourself lately. But she's using that concern to frame you as emotionally damaged, psychologically fragile, or fundamentally broken. The support comes wrapped in the message that something is wrong with you. What makes this distinct is that she's not undermining your ability to complete tasks or manage responsibilities. She's undermining who you are as a person. Every time you're vulnerable, every time you express emotion, she responds with concern that pathologizes you. She positions herself as a stable, emotionally healthy partner dealing with your dysfunction. You might hear things like, I'm here for you. I just worry you're not emotionally equipped to handle this, which offers support while questioning your capability. Or, you carry so much pain, it must be exhausting being you, which both expresses concern while also framing you as damaged. Or you'll hear things like, I understand you're struggling, but I think you've got deeper issues you haven't dealt with yet, which both validates your struggle while also pathologizing you. Or you're so sensitive and I love that about you, but it's not really healthy, which praises a trait while also labeling it as a dysfunction. This type is particularly effective at isolating you. When you have already been consistently framed as emotionally damaged or psychologically fragile, reaching out for support becomes dangerous. If you tell someone what's happening in the relationship, she's already laid the groundwork. He's always been so sensitive, or he struggles with his mental health. Your credibility is preemptively destroyed. You become afraid to speak about the abuse because doing so might be interpreted as evidence of the instability she's been describing. The pathologizing is not just about controlling the relationship, it's about controlling the narrative if you ever try to leave or seek help. The third is support as leverage. Support as leverage is when help, care, or compassion is offered but never freely. It becomes currency, a bargaining chip, a future receipt that can be pulled out at any moment and used to guilt, control, or punish you. What looks like genuine care in the moment is actually an investment in future control. She's banking credit that she'll withdraw later when she wants compliance. What makes this distinct is a time delay. The support seems real when it is offered. You might be going through something difficult and she shows up, helps you, offers patience or compassion, and you are grateful. But weeks or months later, that same act of care gets weaponized. After everything I did for you, what you thought was freely given support is revealed as a transaction you did not know you were entering into. The kindness was a setup for compliance. You might hear, "You wouldn't even be here if it weren't for me," which would aim to remind you of past support she's given you as proof you now owe her. Or she might say, "I've put up with so much from you, the least you could do is dot dot dot," which frames her support as sacrifice you must repay. Or, "I supported you through everything, and this is how you treat me," which weaponizes past care to guilt you. Or, "Do you know how many chances I gave you?" which frames her patience as currency that you have somehow spent. This corrodes your ability to receive care. You become wary of kindness, suspicious of softness. You start asking, "What will this cost me later?" Even when you're genuinely struggling, you go it alone. Not because you want to, but because the alternative is an emotional debt you can't afford to repay. Rejecting help gets you framed as too proud or unwilling to accept support, which feeds into cultural narratives about male dysfunction. The fourth type is encouragement that erodes. Encouragement that erodes is praise that has also been laced with phrases that make you doubt yourself. On the surface, it sounds like motivation. You'll hear, "I believe in you," soon followed with, "I just hope you don't burn out like last time," or "You've got this," with a subtle probably at the back end. The phrases come loaded with disclaimers, caveats, or even reminders of past failures. She's encouraging you while simultaneously predicting your collapse. The support is delivered in a way that keeps your expectations low, your confidence fragile, and your dependence on her judgment high. What makes this distinct is that she's not taking over tasks or diagnosing you as broken. She's managing your confidence. You're told to try, but warned not to expect much. You're acknowledged, but only within the frame of your perceived weakness or past failures. This doesn't build you up, it sets you up to doubt yourself before you even begin. You might hear things like, "I just hope you don't burn out like you did last time," which encourages you while reminding you of past failure. Or, "Let's be realistic. It probably won't work, but you can try," which supports your attempt while predicting its failure. Or, "You've failed before, but maybe this time will be different," which acknowledges your effort while anchoring you to past failures. Or even, "I hope this doesn't end the way it usually does," which frames your pattern as inevitable failure. This keeps your confidence low and your expectations managed. If you do succeed, she can claim she's always believed in you, despite the constant undercutting. And if you fail, it confirms what she saw coming, which reinforces your dependence on her judgment. Either way, she maintains control over how you see yourself. You never build genuine confidence because every encouragement comes preloaded with doubt. You feel like you're being indulged rather than believed in, like a risk everyone is humoring. When you do succeed, the bar moves. The support becomes, you got lucky. The last type is false collaboration. False collaboration is when she invites you to make a decision together, but the decision has already been made by her. She just hasn't shared it with you yet. She asks for your input on, say, planning a holiday, or choosing a school for the kids, or handling a family matter. On the surface, it looks like partnership. So you go off and research options, think through the considerations, prepare your perspective. But when you present it to her, she dismisses it, argues against it, or tells you you are being difficult for not taking in her ideas. The conversation was not real. She really just wanted your agreement, not your input. What makes this distinct is the performance. She goes through the motions of asking your opinion, discussing options, and making it look collaborative. But the outcome was predetermined. Your role is not to contribute to the decision, is to validate the decision she has already made. If you don't, you're accused of not being supportive, not being a team player, or making things harder than they need to be. So you might hear from her, let's decide together, but I really need you to agree with me on this, which frames collaboration while demanding compliance. Or, I want your opinion, but if you say no, you're not being supportive, which invites input while punishing disagreement. This exhausts you. You spend hours researching, thinking, preparing, energy that goes nowhere because the decision was never actually up for discussion. You learn that let's decide this together doesn't mean what it says. Eventually, you stop engaging. You just agree up front because it's less draining than going through the performance of collaboration only to be shut down later. Men often take shared responsibility seriously, so being invited into a fake discussion feels like a specific kind of humiliation. You show up, did your part, treated it like a real partnership decision, and it was theatre. Now that you can see how barb support works and the various types you might encounter, let's talk about what you can do. Everybody's situation is unique, and only you can assess what's safe and viable in your circumstance. These tools are designed for navigating abuse while you are still in it, not for fixing the relationship. Tool one is make a strategic judgment call. Before accepting help, you need to ask yourself, will accepting this mean giving up a right or control that I cannot afford to lose? For example, if it's about parenting decisions, school involvement, or financial access, or even other critical areas of your life, decline. It may start a battle, but you cannot set precedences where you are excluded from decisions about your kids or other fundamental aspects of your life. Some hills are worth the fight. Use your judgment on this one. Only push back if you feel you must and you can take on the battle that might follow. If declining the so called help puts you or your kids at risk, or if the fight is not worth what you'd gain, let it go. This is not about winning every interaction, it's about protecting the boundaries that matter most. When you do decline, keep it simple and calm. I've got this, thanks. Or I want to handle this one myself. Do not explain, do not justify, don't engage with accusations that you're being defensive or too proud. Just hold the line. Tool two is Document when it escalates. If declining triggers an argument or she escalates, document it. Note the date, what you declined, how she responded, what was said. If she's blocking you from parenting involvement, for example, that's potential parental alienation. If she's restricting your access to finances or major decisions, that's evidence of control. Keep this documentation private. Don't show it to her. Don't use it in arguments. This is for you to maintain your grip on reality when she tells you you're imagining things or being difficult. And it's potentially for legal purposes later if you need to demonstrate a pattern of controlling behavior. Tool three is take the labor, reject the barb. When the so called help is not about something that is critical to control, for example, she takes over cooking dinner or organizing something minor, like handling a task you could do but don't need to, let her do the work. But internally, reframe every barb that comes along with that support. She says you can't handle it. Remind yourself that's just manipulation, not truth. Reground yourself back into reality. You are capable. This is a tactic. Her assessment is designed to undermine you, not reflect reality. Take the free labor if it's offered, but do not internalize the poison that comes with it. This is about protecting your internal sense of competence while living in a situation designed to erode it. Every time you catch the barb and reject it internally, you're maintaining your grip on who you actually are versus who she's telling you you are. This is daily work. Every barbed comment requires active resistance in your own mind. But that internal resistance is what keeps you sane. It's what prevents the slow erosion of self trust that makes leaving feel impossible. Barbed support is designed to keep you small while appearing kind. It frames control as care and dependence as love. But once you can see it clearly, you can start to refuse it, or at least refuse to internalize it. You don't need rescuing, you don't need managing, and you don't need someone else's permission to trust your own capability. When she offers help laced with the message that you are inadequate, that's about her need for control, not your actual competence. If you're living with this, you're not imagining it. You're not ungrateful, and you're not broken. You're a competent person being told you are not. The moment you stop believing her version of you is the moment you start reclaiming yourself. Make strategic decisions about what battles matter the most. Document what happens when you push back and protect your internal sense of reality every single day. Real support doesn't come with barbs. And when someone keeps offering you poison wrapped in kindness, eventually you stop taking it. You're not alone in this. And the clarity you're building now about what this is and how it works is the foundation for whatever decisions come next. This is Stand Again, lived experience platform for male survivors of family violence. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your voice might just help another man find his. If you're looking for one on one support, you can book coaching with a member of the Stand Again team. Simply visit standagain.com.au, where you will also find grounded information on surviving and recovering from family violence as a man. As always, remember that no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you can stand again.